Well, I've done a few of these lists before, but now that we're entering the preseason, I think we should revisit it. Let's rock. Be sure to like and subscribe on today's video and turn on the notification bell for day-to-day updates. For now, enjoy the video. Alright, what's going on, guys? My name is Antonio, and welcome back to the All Around Sports Podcast. Today, I'm going over my NFL power rankings entering the preseason. Now, I will be revisiting this one last time before the season officially starts. But before we get things underway, I wanted to mention two things. I'm trying to aim for 375 subscribers before the beginning of the NFL season. So if we can hit that margin, that would be great. I'm currently 52 subscribers away from hitting that margin. So if we can hit that margin, that would be great. Remember, it's free, so be sure to like and subscribe. But also, if we do hit 400 subscribers, person that gets us to 400 subscribers shall receive a $25 gift card of their choice. So I will be monitoring this on my end, but if one of you guys is the last subscriber that gets us to 400 when we hit that margin, then DM me on one of my Twitter or Instagram accounts. It's in my channel's description, so be sure to go and check those out. But anyways, without further ado, let's get this train rolling. First up, before we hit the top 10, I wanted to throw out a few honorable mentions that I left just outside of this list. So I have 6 in this regard because there's many teams on the outside of this. But first up is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, the Buccaneers, they were amazing last year when they showed up against the Philadelphia Eagles. We are expecting them to be the Atlanta Falcons to be in that race, which I'll be mentioning them here in a little bit. But Buccaneers, they are looking really good. They are looking to be ready and primed for another NFC South championship and title. So we'll see what happens. But also, next up is the Dallas Cowboys. I left them just outside because they lost major weapons in the offseason. And I believe that the Cowboys are just outside of the top 10. So, and then next up is the Raiders of Las Vegas, which is so weird to say, by the way. But, anyways, the Raiders are a top 15 team in this regard because their defense is growing even stronger. You add on Christian Wilkins to an already dangerous defense that was ranked top in scoring defense, which for the first time in their history since 2002, when they went to the Super Bowl that year to get beat down by John Gruden and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But this is going to be a very interesting year for the Raiders. I believe they're going to be right there in the playoff picture. I believe they might just be outside, but if they can make the playoffs, that would be a surprise to everybody. But then, of course, next up is the Chicago Bears. The Bears are to have the number one pick this year in Caleb Williams. We are expecting them to be a playoff team. I'm not buying the hype just yet, but if this team gets rolling early, they could be in that category. So, and then second to last team is the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons, I stated earlier, are the favorite to win the division, but I'm not buying it yet because Kirk Cousins is 1-3 in the playoffs. He is still relatively decent. You bring him in with some lows already stacked team with Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Bijan Robinson. And then you already bring in a powerful defense that was ranked 11th in the NFL last year. So that's another reason. But last team in the honorable mentions is the Cincinnati Bengals because I left them outside this time because Joe Burrow is still a question mark because he is coming off a wrist injury and that could likely affect his throwing ability. So I'm still in question of that. So until we see it, I'm going to leave him just outside. But now that the honorable mentions are out of the way, it's time to jump in to the top 10. First up at number 10, you got the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are one of the toughest teams in the NFC right now, and they had a far more better draft and offseason alone than their rival, the Dallas Cowboys. Anyways, they have loaded up on their roster. They got Saquon Barkley, CJ Gardner Johnson, Bryce Huff, and also along with Devin White. And then they went into the draft and got Cooper DeJean, Quinton Mitchell, and Jeremiah Trotter, who kind of reminds me of Bobby. He kind of reminds me of Bobby Wagner, the way he plays. I like the way that Jeremiah Trotter has looked. So the Eagles, I believe they're going to be right there in the race with the Niners and the Lions for the division and for the conference alone. So we'll see what happens, but I have the Eagles coming in at number 10. Number 9. I put this one on here because I still believe they're a top 10 team despite losing their two top receivers. You got the Buffalo Bills. The Bills, let me explain. The Bills have a relatively good team. Josh Allen is still their quarterback. I still believe they're going to be one of the top teams of the NFL this year because Josh Allen, sooner or later, he's going to have to grow outside of having the two top receivers, which was Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs. But this team is going to be dangerous because you got Keon Coleman, Marcus Valdez-Scantling, a two-time Super Bowl champion with the Chiefs. You also got Chase Claypool that hasn't had a breakout year since his days back at Pittsburgh. But also you bring in a guy, you still got James Cook, you still got Dalton Kincaid, you still got Dawson Knox, you still got loads of pieces there, and Schooler as well, which could be likely the new number one receiver for Josh Allen, which we'll see what happens, but the Bills come in at number 9. Number 8 is the Miami Dolphins that absolutely looked like frozen sushi against the Chiefs in the wild card round last year. I had to bring that up, sorry. But anyways, the Dolphins, they loaded up during the offseason, getting loads of new weapons. They got OBJ from the Ravens in a free agent signing. They also still got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. They loaded up on their defensive side with Chop Robinson and Muhammad Kamara in the draft. They lost Christian Wilkins, as I mentioned earlier, to the Raiders, so that'll be a key loss for them. But this team is going to have one of the fastest offenses in the NFL next year. I am not sleeping on this Dolphins team. Neither should anyone else. So I have them coming in at number 8. Coming in at number 7, you got the Green Bay Packers. The Packers, they were one of the top, most unexpected teams to make the playoffs and just put a butt whooping on the Dallas Cowboys during the wild card round. That was last year, and hopefully similar something happens to the Cowboys again this year. But anyways, enough about that. The Packers just signed Jordan Love to a 4-year, $220 million contract, as I mentioned in the video where I was going over the Cowboys. But this is a big opportunity for Jordan Love to prove his worth because he's got a load of weapons. And I believe the Packers are going to be one of the top threats of the NFC, right behind the Eagles and the Niners and the Lions. But the Packers, they are dangerous. I am not sleeping on this team, and I'm actually scared to go against them come week 15 Sunday night matchup. That will be relatively interesting. But of course, we'll wait and see what happens. But the Packers come in at number 7. Coming in at number 6, you got the San Francisco 49ers that lost in the Super Bowl again. The Niners I put very low at number 6 because even though they made the Super Bowl last year, they lost a few key pieces, including Chase Young to the New Orleans Saints, which I think that Chase Young actually came in to sabotage him.
Time to abandon ship.
Anyways, the Niners, they need to show up. They have to win a Super Bowl this year or Kyle Shanahan's gone. He's going to be gone in a blink of an eye. They have to win a Super Bowl this year. And right now, I just don't see them ahead of any of the AFC opponents, especially Kansas City, since they can't even record a dang win against them. I believe they're actually even afraid to go against the Kansas City Chiefs.
No. Wait. Wait.
But the Niners, they have to show up. They have to prove it. Prove that they're a Super Bowl contender by beating Kansas City in week 7. They have to do it, or else I'm not putting them any higher than 6. Maybe if they beat a tough team like maybe Buffalo or Miami. Until then, I am not putting them any higher. So that is why I have the Niners at number 6. Number 5. This might shock a lot of people on how high I put this team. The Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars, despite them collapsing last year, they went out there and loaded up. They got Gabe Davis. They now have Brian Thomas, and they still got Evan Ingram, Christian Kirk, Travis Etienne, and loads of other offensive weapons, including the new Josh Hines Allen, that they got signed to an extension that he changed his name. It was kind of confusing going between Josh Allen's of Buffalo and Jacksonville. But anyways, Jaguars are still a top team. They have a really good defense. They have a really good offense. Trevor Lawrence is gonna prove himself this year because he got paid all of that cash. He needs to show up, and I believe that he will. So that's why I put Jacksonville at number 5. Coming in at number 4 is the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens I put higher this time because the Ravens are one of the top teams still, despite Lamar Jackson having the same record as Dak Prescott. Lamar Jackson has new weapons around him, and I touched on him during my video when I was going over my reaction to John Harbaugh's comments on him. But anyways, the Ravens are still one of the top teams of the AFC, and I believe they are going to be right up there in the race. We'll see what happens, but that's why I put the Ravens at number 4. Coming in at number 3 was one of the biggest surprises from last season, the Houston Texans. The Texans, they were still one of the top teams of the AFC, but no one, and I mean no one, expected them to 13-1 a season ago to eventually go 10-7. That was a big time surprise to multiple people, including myself. The game that caught my attention was when they beat the Bengals in that week showdown against Joe Burrow and CJ Stroud. But this Texans team is going to be dangerous. And I touched on this during my video when I was talking about how big they are a threat to the AFC and possibly Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, which I'll be touching on later on in the video. But this Texans team is stacked top to bottom, and they're more all in than their in-state rival, the Dallas Cowboys. Sorry. I have to do it, all right? I have to do it. Sorry, not sorry. But anyways, that's why I have the Texans coming in at number 3. At number 2 was the NFC runner-up, the Detroit Lions. The Lions have been put up in this category because they went all out and got loads of new weapons. They got DJ Reader, which I was pretty surprised when Cincinnati let him go. And you also still got brought in Terrion Arnold to pair up with his former Alabama teammate, Brian Branch. You also still got a lot of key pieces there. This team is going to be one of those top teams because the Lions, they are stronger than the 49ers, and they've beaten Kansas City, by the way, Niners. They've beaten Kansas City in that season opener last year, by the way. But anyways, The Lions, they are the top threat of the NFC side to compete with Kansas City Chiefs because they've beaten the Chiefs, 49ers. They've beaten them. You failed to do in your past few years. But anyways, that is why I have the Lions at number 2. And at number 1, no surprise here, the Seattle Seahawks. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Of course, it's Kansas City. I fooled y'all, didn't I? I fooled y'all. I fooled y'all. You didn't really think I would put the Seahawks at number 1. Did you really think I would? Heck no, because I'm realistic. I'm grounded. I know that we're not up there yet. I'm not like a Cowboy fan that absolutely demolishes TV screens and monitors just because we lose in the playoffs. But let me know in the comments if I fooled you. Let me know in the comments if I fooled you. But anyways, number 1 is of course Kansas City. Because let me touch on Kansas City. They have still Patrick Mahomes, one of the greatest quarterbacks in today's game. They still got loads of key pieces. You still got Travis Kelce. We're waiting on the Rashee Rice circumstances because he did go to was a part of the few arrests. But also, they still got Isaiah Pacheco, who is a running beast. I mean, dang. But anyways, they also brought in Marquise Hollywood Brown. You got Xavier Worthy in the trade with the Buffalo Bills. And you also brought in loads of guys like Jared Wiley that I believe he's going to be a steal tight end. I believe he's a steal because I've watched him during in his highlights. He looks like a monster. But anyways, the Chiefs still have a relatively good defense despite them losing L'Jarius Sneed in the trade Tennessee, which that was pretty cheap on what they got from that trade. Anyways, this Chiefs team is still one of the top teams of the AFC and in the NFL alone because the fact is they are the new Patriots. And if you can't beat the Patriots, I'm talking to you, Niners. I'm talking to you. If you cannot beat Kansas City, you don't have a chance at winning a Super Bowl. That is a fact. I'm talking to you, especially Niners. Talking to you. But anyways, that is why I have Kansas City coming in at number 1. To recap the list, I have the Chiefs at number 1, Lions number 2, Texans number 3, Ravens 4, Jaguars 5, Niners 6, Packers 7, Dolphins 8, Bills 9, and the Eagles coming in at number 10. Let me know in the comments what you guys think down in the comment section below. Do you agree with my list? Let me know down in the comment section below if you agree with my list or not. But let me know down in the comments and also let me know if I fooled you because I know lots of people were probably fooled at first glance. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll catch you all in the next one. Ciao for now.